Nestled quietly in the heart of Hartlepool, Burn Valley Gardens is one of those places that seems to gently reveal itself the more time you spend wandering through it. It's a surprisingly tranquil green corridor running through the town, and yet it sits just a short distance from the busy streets and residential areas. For many locals, this little park has been part of their daily lives for decades. Somewhere to walk the dog, push a pram, enjoy a lunch break, and have a nice sit on the bench, or simply slow down and enjoy the surrounding green area. As for visitors, it offers an easy-going, peaceful stop that blends nature with a sense of community heritage. As you enter Burn Valley Gardens, what's immediately striking is the way the park stretches out in a long, meandering shape. It's like a natural ribbon of green woven into the urban landscape. It's not a formal botanical garden or a vast country park, and that's exactly its charm. It feels informal, approachable, and deep-rooted in everyday life of the town. Paths wind gently alongside grassy lawns, flower beds, and a cluster of mature trees. The sound of birdsong often filters through from the above. In the distance you can hear the faint hum of traffic, which somehow seems to emphasise how calm this space is in comparison. The gardens are centred around the Burn, a small stream that runs the length of the valley. It gives the park a lovely natural backbone and adds a subtle sense of movement and life to the scene. The water is often shallow and clear, sometimes in the dry months. It attracts plenty of birds who come here to bathe or drink. Ducks can sometimes be seen paddling quietly, and occasionally you'll spot wagtails darting along the edges. In the summer season, dragonflies hover above the surface, flashing iridescent colours when they catch the sunlight. Even though it's a modest waterway, it brings an extra layer of life and makes the park feel special. As you follow the footpaths, you'll notice the way the park subtly shifts its character along the length. Some stretches are open and grassy, with wide lawns ideal for picnics, for informal games, or just to lie back and watch the clouds drift overhead. Other parts narrow into tree-lined sections, where branches form gentle arches overhead, casting dapple shade across the path. Benches are dotted throughout, giving you plenty of places to pause and take in the scenery. It's the kind of space where you can walk for half an hour without ever feeling hurried, where the surroundings seem to encourage you to slow down. There's a mix of tree species throughout the park, from tall, slender branches to sturdy oaks and chestnuts, and they give the gardens a variety of textures. Their canopies shift in the season. Fresh green leaves in the spring, deep cool shade in the summer, and brilliant warm tones in the autumn when the paths are lined with crunchy leaves. Even in the winter, when these branches are bare, they give plenty of structure to the park and make it feel sheltered rather than exposed. The trees are home to plenty of wildlife too. You can often hear blackbirds, robins and wood pigeons, and if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of a jay or a darting goldfinch. As you wander deeper into the park, you'll come across a number of small features that give it a sense of history and community. There are memorial benches dedicated to local residents, some with touching plaques that hint at the stories of those who spent time here. There are old stone walls and steps in places that suggest the gardens have evolved greatly over the years, shaped by generations of local care. This isn't a park that was created all at once. It feels like it's grown and adapted alongside the town itself. The slow layering of history adds to depth and gives the place a reassuring, lived-in atmosphere. Burn Valley Gardens has always had a strong connection to the surrounding neighbourhood. Many of the houses and streets that border the park look out over the green space, and you often see local residents using it as part of their daily routine, walking to the shops, taking the dog out, or simply cutting through as a scenic route rather than walking along the main roads. This constant, gentle use keeps the park appealing, alive and safe. Even on quiet days, you usually pass a few friendly faces, and there's a shared sense of ownership, as if everyone who uses the gardens is quietly looking after them together. One thing that stands out about Burn Valley is how accessible it is. The paths are mostly smooth and level, making it easy for people with pushchairs or wheelchairs to explore, and the park connects well to the surrounding streets, There are multiple entrances, so you can join or leave at different points, which also makes it ideal for people using it as part of a longer walk through the town. It's the sort of place you can pop in for 5 minutes or spend an hour solely wandering from end to end. That flexibility makes it a valuable space for so many different people. In the middle stretches of the park you'll find open lawns where children can play, families spread out with picnic blankets or couples sit chatting in the sun. There's a space to throw a frisbee or kick a ball about, but it never feels overly busy or hectic. The park tends to absorb this activity gently, keeping a relaxed, calm atmosphere, even when several groups are enjoying it at once. There's a subtle balance here between activity and peace. It's one of the reasons the Burn Valley remains so well loved. Alongside its role as a recreational space, the gardens offer small but important pockets of habitats for wildlife. The mix of trees, shrubs, lawns and water create a mosaic that supports different species. You might spot squirrels darting up the trunks, bees buzzing lazily between flowers, or butterflies resting on the sunny patch of the path. The presence of the Burn stream enhances this, creating a natural corridor that wildlife can flow through the urban environment. It's easy to forget standing here that you're only a few minutes walk from Hartlepool town centre. It feels like a different world. The changing seasons transfer the atmosphere of Burn Valley Gardens throughout the year. Spring brings an uplifting sense of renewal, with blossom on the trees, birds singing energetically, and the first shoots of green pushing through the soil. In the summer the park feels its most sociable, with families picnicking, children playing, and flowers in full bloom. Autumn brings slower golden tone, with warm light flicking through the thinning leaves, and the paths strewn with leaves that are crisp in foliage. In the winter, even when the trees are bare and the flower beds are quiet, there's a stillness and sense of clarity that makes the park feel open and reflective. Visiting across the seasons lets you appreciate its character and different moods. Burn Valley Gardens also has an understated role as a green link within the wider townscape. It's not just a destination park the way some larger sites are, but it provides an essential stretch of open space for surrounding communities. It connects neighbourhoods, breaks up the built environment, and gives people a place to pause, reflect and breathe. In urban planning terms, it might simply be described as green infrastructure, but to most people it's simply their local park, quietly enriching their daily lives. That modest, dependable presence is something quite special. One of the things that gives Burn Valley Garden its charm is how personal it feels. There's a sense that this is not just a public space maintained by the council, but a shared garden that belongs to people who live around it and pass through it every day. You can see signs of quiet care, beds that have been freshly weeded, edges trimmed and litter picked. It's the kind of care that suggests pride, and a pride that it gives a place a heart. You don't come here to be impressed by the grand architecture and the dramatic landscaping. You come here to feel grounded, calm and connected to something familiar. There's a timeless quality about the gardens that makes them appeal across generations. Older residents often talk about walking here as children themselves, and now they bring their grandchildren to play on their lawn. Dog walkers stop for friendly chats. Children run ahead along paths, laughing as they go, while parents stroll behind. Teenagers might sit in groups under trees, listening to music or talking about their day. It's a backdrop to countless small moments of daily life. That continuity is part of its beauty, that sense that the park has quietly accompanied the lives of so many people decade after decade. Because the gardens are fairly narrow and linear, there's always a sense of progression as you walk. You are gently drawn forward, curious about what's round the next bend. This shape also means that the views are constantly shifting. Sometimes you're looking along open grass framed by distant trees. Other times the path dips down close to the stream, where the banks rise up on either side. It helps keep the experience engaging without ever feeling too demanding. You don't have to plan your route here, you can simply follow your feet and see where they take you. There's something about the proportion of the park that feels very human. It's not so large that you can get lost, and it's not so small that you feel cramped. There's room to breathe, to wander, and to sit quietly if you want to. And because it sits slightly lower than the surrounding roads and houses, it almost forms a little green basin, a sheltered world that's close to the town, but not quite part of its bustle. That small separation makes it feel more peaceful than you might expect from its central location. You can hear birdsong more clearly, and the sound of the burn ticking along. This adds a soft background note. Even the simple act of walking here can be surprisingly restorative. The rhythm of your footsteps, the gentle curves of the path, the trees shifting above you, it encourages a kind of unhurried reflection. People come here to clear their heads, to stretch their legs on a lunch break, or to feel a bit of space around them after a busy day. You don't have to do anything in the Burn Valley Gardens. That's its greatest gift. It gives you permission to slow down and simply be. It's worth noting how valuable spaces like this are for mental well-being. In an increasingly urban world, having access to nature and greenery within walking distance is hugely important. Even a short visit can reduce stress, lift your mood, and make you feel more connected. Burn Valley may not be dramatic or showy, but it quietly delivers these benefits every day to people who live nearby. It's a green thread running through the fabric of Hartlepool, supporting health and happiness in ways that are easy to underestimate. Another lovely quality of the garden is how they respond to light. On sunny days, the lawns glow almost luminous green. The shadows of leaves dance across the paths. Early mornings can be especially beautiful, when the light is low and golden, catching on spiders' webs strung between branches or glinting on dew-dropped grass. In the evening, the settling sun can cast warm amber tones through the trees, giving the park a soft, dreamlike atmosphere. Even on overcast days, there's a gentle brightness to this place, as pale sky diffuses light evenly throughout the canopy. It's a reminder of how much a simple local park can offer, if you take time to notice its moods. Burn Valley Gardens also has an understated social side. It's a place where people can gather informally, without any need to spend money or travel far. Friends meet and chat on benches, families sit on blankets sharing snacks, solo visitors read books or listen to music as they watch the world drift by. The park accommodates all of this quietly and without fuss. It doesn't need events or attractions to be worthwhile. Its attraction is simply that it is here, open and welcoming, and ready to offer space whenever you need it. As with all public parks, its continued care is vital, and the Burn Valley benefits from a watchful presence of its local community. People notice when something needs fixing, and often report it or tidy it themselves. That informal stewardship is one of the things that keeps the park feeling safe and well used. It's a space shaped by its visitors as much as any formal plan, and that shared sense of ownership makes it feel very resilient. For anyone visiting Hartlepool, Burn Valley Gardens is definitely worth a short detour. It won't demand a full day, and it won't overwhelm you with its attractions. Instead, it will quietly refresh you. It's ideal as part of a long walk through the town, or simply as a green pause in your day. If you give it time, it rewards you with calm charm and a glimpse of everyday life in the town at its gentlest. So whether you're here for a few minutes or a lingering afternoon, take a moment to slow your pace, listen to the birds, watch the water slip by, and enjoy the simple pleasure of being outdoors. Parks like this remind us that beauty doesn't have to be grand or distant. Sometimes it's right in the middle of our own towns, quietly waiting for us to notice. If you've enjoyed this walk and review of the Burn Valley Gardens, consider subscribing to the channel. There are plenty more relaxing walk gardens and wildlife spots to explore, and your support really helps these journeys to keep on coming. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time, take care and enjoy your own local green spaces wherever they may be, and I'll leave you to enjoy the remaining footage.